November 1st, 2013, Chennai, India. The world watched as the Tiger of Madrius. Viswanathan, Blunder is thrown away to Magnus Carlsen. One move. Knight to f1. An error. That was over. But what I've told you on, I was losing. What if the engine proves, and even my evaluation proves that today we rewrite history? If I had played the legendary in this move, I played the Predatory d5 pawn sacrifice and the wedge on f6, the Carlsen error would have been delayed or completely destroyed. The psychological pressures 5-4 shifts to Carlsen, the young prodigy, and enters a talisman. Anand Marine's king, proving that veteran calculation still outplays machine age challenger. But in the real, my Blunder isn't just the win. The alternate reality, Anand doesn't make him, he humiliates him, destroys him, rips him apart, and shatters his ego. And makes him a shadow of his former self. We liquidate, and then using my nativity and novelty, we liquidate into the most stickable position in chess, bishop and knight. I'm promoting a world champion final just to prove technical dominance. This wouldn't be a win, but the greatest statement in the history of the game. As history says, Anand lost the grip, but he was one tap away from immortality. Look at the geometry of the board. Exactly the world of chess. Almost changed forever. I'm Aaron, sdcforged. Let's dive into the game. And let's go into the warrior mindset. Imagine Vishy Anand, who didn't flinch, who bruised box breathing to stay grounded while the store range, and this isn't the Vishy who vendor knight f1, but the warrior king, and new self-beliefs in emotion and calculation. Like retired chief, Stephen Guy decided to stay in the fight, taking the slow out of the challenge, square by square, and finding the path. The nerves missed. d5 that clears the deck. The f6 wedge paralyzes the pings, and this is the age of native violence. Magnus Carlsen, the boy constrictor, finds himself in a cage. He is not a king here, but a shadow of his prime that was never allowed to exist. Point is this: Carlsen didn't lose the game, he lost his error. History belongs to the tiger, and the entirety of this would be he would reign undisputed world champion from 2007 to 2013, approximately 6 years, and last was record held in 1894 to 1921, 27 years total, and his reign starts in 2007. Total duration 2000 years, and end date of record 2025. Thank you. We're going to do game 9 of the championship. See how that goes. Magnus Carlsen, FIDE World Chess Championship 2013. Magnus first claimed the title on the final by trying to draw a win. So let's get straight to it. In this attempt, it takes some time to think. Okay, I got a really bad with this position. Okay, so major piece. Wait, nope, I mean, there's a clean back, can't be on the mistake. Here, no, let me fix it. Go back. Then clean the next one, right? Hey, bishop, okay, sisters. Here. Freaking. Should we put Carlsen? Yep. You know what? I'm gonna try to roll something. If I'm going against other film rules and music, I'll do it for you. Okay, so let's try again now. So let's having some shut up here. Let's take a couple moves. Okay, knight, bishop, queen. Okay, one pass pawn. Knight is in the rim. Bishop, queen, rook. So, equal material. Opposite, same color bishops. Queen and rook are in the dark squares. Queen, my rook's in the light square. My pawn is smart. Now I gotta calculate the thing a candidate moves. Like, I feel like that would be too. I feel like there has to be a way to put more pressure. Knight here seems to put pressure on this pawn because this king only defends it and gives me like a hook pawn that I could potentially push and go like this. Okay, so knight h5. Knight h5. So knight h5. Well, how can my opponent respond? Or what does my opponent do? He wants to get a pass on her. But it seems like my rook was guarding the first rank. So if I go knight h5, what else could I do? I could go queen here to support. But the question is, do I want to go to the knight on the rim? Because then, okay, so I can go knight h5 or queen f4. But which one would be better? I feel like, I don't know immediately. Because knight's gonna go here to try to support this pawn. She's gonna go here to support this pawn. Then it's gonna put pressure here, put pressure on this pawn. So I feel like potentially playing defense, or even pushing like this, doing a full-blown attack and just saying my knight and bishop can make it the fortress. Okay, so this is, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna go for a full-blown swan-tone attack. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so knight goes back to c7 as thought. Now what do I do from here? Now I'm gonna push my queen here, and I'm gonna stack up on my f-file. My rook's gonna always keep an eye on this pawn. Okay, and now I'm gonna strike. I'm gonna go for a full-blown attack. Okay, he's gonna capture my pawn. And now I'm gonna go and completely destroy the king's pawn structure. Okay. Now I gotta kick out the knight first before I go in. I have to kick out the knight. Okay, outpost, and then now I can either trade on I'm gonna trade over my bishop because I need my knight in this mode. This knight has a lot of opportunity to maneuver and create a good outpost, so this is why I'm gonna trade off my bishop. Okay, and now what do I do here? I mean, I could check. I could check here, but the bishop got that square, so maybe check here. Check here. Okay, check here. King moves. King moves most likely to the corner, because if it goes forward, then there has to be something on my hand. And then I'm just gonna simply continue to push the pawns and try to restrict squares. And now let's think. Okay, so takes. They're putting this knight on this outpost even not necessary. I need to take the bishop. I need to trade off the bishop pair. It just opens this file to the queen now. The queen has supported this pawn. Okay, of course, the pawn takes back, and then maybe I can look at front. Okay, so rook takes, queen takes, rook takes, queen takes. So rook takes, queen takes, and then knight to f6 outpost. Knight to f6 outpost, yes. So rook takes, queen takes, knight to f6. And then if it's knight to f6, then what can my opponent do? Knight to f6. Knight to f6, so they takes to they're queen to. Right, so take 6. We're trying to trade off the rooks immediately. Take, queen takes, of course. Put my knight on this outpost. Put the knight on the outpost. And then what now? Now I'm winning 100%. Okay. Now I'm gonna threaten checkmate at 1. Of course, queen goes okay. Queen goes to okay, so check now. Where do I want to go? If I go here, to be, why would this be? Go here, here, or here. I'm up a minor piece, so I am winning 100%. The question is, if I go to a dark square, it could potentially potential checkmate. Yeah, I'm assuming a light square would be out perfect, because if I go, queen is on a dark square, so the queen cannot get in the scope. Opposite colors. So it pushes the pawn. And then this queen is going to cross some square, so I'm going to probably try to make another hook. It makes 2-time anti-passers. Okay. So what I'm going to do here? Should I go here to fort both these pawns? That's the only legit move I can think of, is fort both these pawns to stop them work together as a team. Okay, goes to a corner, and now move opposite color of the square. I thought the queen checked me on, opposite color, pawn pushes, and then I believe I'm gonna threaten AM1. So even if he gets a promotion, I'm gonna threaten AM1. No, not AM1. I'm threatening AM1. Now I gotta calculate. Okay, so Stockfish just sacrifices the queen. Okay. And then this should be checkmate. That's checkmate. Wow. Okay. How did I convert that position so well? I mean, right, so it's completely drawish. Like, pushing this pawn and doing a pawn attack was obviously. Right, so knight c7, right? Queen f4, supporting the f file. Right, I go for a pawn strike. I sacrifice a pawn for the initiative take, shatter the kingside defense. Queen goes to, what's it called, centralize itself, defend everything, and force this knight to make a move. Knight goes, I trade, knight goes for an immediate check. King moves into the corner, because if the king moved here, this would have been checkmate, right? If it would have been here, this would have been some sort of checkmate. Oh no, it would have just left a more dominant position. Okay. That's all it was. Okay, right, so pawn d5. So this was, let's say, if I did that, I sacrificed a pawn to shatter white's structure. And I would have basically just went for an all-out attack. Ah, I see, okay. That's why I want, okay. Yeah, that's why I always left that pawn out as a poison pawn. So I can go for an all-out attack. That's the only way I will win this game. And then I'm gonna counter strike right here. Strike, nope. That of course takes. And then, yeah, I'm not gonna take with the rook, I'm gonna take with the king. So I would do, yes, get the rook is forward, so like immediate check, block these pawns. Bishop takes, rook takes, check, bishop blocks. There has to be some sort of checkmate here. Oh no, there's not. Right, so check, move, get out the way, and then I just get behind the pawns and clock for the match. Wow. Oh, okay. Okay, so right, he takes f6, offering liquidation takes, queen takes, knight on the outpost, queen moves back the pawn, king takes pawn to defend the pawn, queen moves to diagonal, go for opposite color to get checked again, pawn moves to 7th rank, h5, they're trying to go for a hook, and then queen gets behind both pawns, I'm just going to queen. Queen goes to threaten checkmate in 1, force knight in 3, just do it. And that's it. Okay. Now let's see. Okay, that's that one. And I'm probably gonna go for more analysis in the future. Outside of that, the only thing I really saw from Vishy's position was to go for an assault and use this pawn chain and try to use this pawn as a hook and try to use this queen to stack it on the f-file and go for an attack. That's the only option I saw. For myself, let's see.
The Lay of the Game, sung by Miss Daisy Boulay, Columbia Records.
Hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. This is how you change history, gentlemen. Thank you.